The mistakes I thought Batista made, he focused on rotational pressure here. If you pay attention to his secondary leg, he's lifting here. But Dylan will feel that there's not any extra pressure in his knee or ankle by lifting his toe into his ass. Let's break down Omar Nurmagomedov versus the Batista bomb. That started from a wrestling position. So we had to bring in someone that knew something about wrestling. Dylan here, being half Canadian, the inspiration for Dagestani wrestling, is going to correct Umar's mat return. We're going to explain the purpose of the Satiev snake.
Long live the motherland. So when you're lifting this guy, Omar Nurmagomedov, right, was trying to step here and load this guy up from the hips. And to do this, you need to play a little bit of a hip battle and use your momentum as best as possible. Now, what this guy's gonna do, Batista, is try to hit him with a Satiev snake. And if you don't know who that is, go watch the gold medalist out of the USSR. And when they are trying to get that momentum, what Craig's gonna do is snake one of my legs. Now, traditionally, most guys don't snake this back leg because it's more awkward, right? They like to snake this near leg because it's more dynamic in reversing the lift. But when you're in this position and he's so far along, you kind of are in a last-ditch effort to try and neutralize his momentum. So that's what Craig's gonna do, snake my leg. From here, it would be a big mistake, which Umar made, to try and lift him and use all his momentum because Craig is elevating and tying me up, resulting in Umar landing very hard on his head and shoulder. So one more time. Umar gets the back, he steps big, and in order to stop his momentum, Batista snakes this guy's leg, and Umar still thinks he has it and tries to commit. From here, lands very hard on his head, and a scramble ensues.
The way Batista used this to engage the legs was when he landed, we've landed in a position like this. He takes his hands and he pushes against Dylan's head. When I'm doing this, I'm keeping weight into Dylan's head. He's able to scoop the leg, which is typically speaking a very bad idea in MMA, because if I were to set up any sort of outside arshi or knee bar style attack, Dylan would place his knee on the floor and sprawl on me here. And then he can posture up and my hands are isolated. I'm gonna get hit in the head here. So what actually happens is when he scoops this leg, he does a little bit of a Granby to keep Dylan's weight here. And now as Dylan's trying to raise height, he drags this leg to a 50-50 position, which would still be typically a pretty dangerous thing in MMA, unless you have like a Ryan Hall caliber. Batista grabbed the Achilles. What would have been better in this scenario is to grab the heel, because when we place it in our bicep, I can rotate. So I'm trying to actually rotate his leg this way with the toes trapped. So I'm pulling the heel. And he starts to corkscrew his legs into Umar here. And now that puts Dylan's weight onto his back leg. Dylan's trying to drive forward. You can see I'm out of range of strikes. It's hard for Dylan to sprawl here. It's kind of a very confusing position. So we're underneath the heel. We're corkscrewing here. This is what Batista's pressure was against Umar. He's applying pressure in. It's hard for Dylan to come forward because the more my knee comes over his knee, the more pressure on the kneecap. If I were to get over the top of this leg, I could apply knee bar pressure. Umar, though, intelligently held here. This blocks me from applying too much pressure to come over the knee. If he didn't have this arm inside here, we could potentially get all the way through and attack heel hooks. The only way Dylan found relief here was to pass it across, which gives me a great toe hold grip. Again, if I went to an outside heel hook from here, I might get sprawled on and crushed and hit in the head. This is where I thought Batista had a unique answer by going for the toe hold, whereas most MMA fighters go for an outside heel hook and get knocked out here. But as he passes it, secures the toe hold grip. he starts to create that rotational pressure of which Umar recognizes and has to roll. Most of the time, people here would secure a knee bar. However, Batista stayed on that toe hold. So as Umar came up on top of him here to try to sprawl him, he got his head underneath his legs and re-rolled through. So Dylan comes up to a knee here, and we ended up back in this position here. So this position here is really where I think he had the best chance of finishing. The mistakes I thought Batista made were when he secured this toe hold, he focused on rotational pressure here. He's trying to rotate, and if you pay attention to his secondary leg, he's lifting here. But Dylan will feel that there's not any extra pressure in his knee or ankle by lifting. I need to focus on controlling the hip, which is where I'd place an outside archery and cross my legs. Now, when I try to apply the toe hold, I'm going to apply it like I'm putting his toe into his ass and actually bridge my hips. And that's going to get us the tap here, right? Another small detail is when we go for a toe hold, we're not going fingers deep. When we punch the position, we punch elbow deep and reinforce it on our own leg. So now again, I'm not trying to rotate and bridge. I'm trying to lock the hips and then drive that toe towards the butt here. So this was the crucial error in this exact, sorry, your ankle, right? It hurts, bro. So again, it's the crucial error in this toe hold finish here. We're not going to place our foot on the ground and bridge, and we're not going to rotate. We're going to be elbow deep. We're going to be crossing our legs, whether it's close guard or whether it's outside archie. I'm back heeling, I'm bringing his hips closer to me, and I'm trying to drive the toe to the butt, and that's going to break the knee and ankle just like a outside heel hook would. So where Umar was trying to square back up here to fight the hands, he realized the problem here, and he pushed that leg as he rolled through to free it. And he hits that back step. This is where we'd typically have a scramble, or if I were to free this leg, we could go reverse, close guard, or I could go back to the legs. So when Dylan comes on top, picks up that ankle, I'm never gonna break someone's leg. This is too much rotation in the toe hold here. But again, the real high IQ moves here were Umar rolling to free the leg and then picking this leg up. Because again, by holding that leg, I'm kind of immobilized here. If he didn't have that leg, if you let go of that leg, I'd be able to bring a knee back inside and potentially throw this leg back in. So really like a high IQ grappling exchange where we are combining both wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and we're taking full advantage of the gray area and a lack of expertise between people that are evenly matched, evenly skilled in wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I think there's a huge opening for innovation combining those in-between positions.
Fuck you, Greg.